Okay, well, good afternoon to you. First this hour, payments delayed, accounts not updating, and customers clearly frustrated. What sort of damage is being done to the name of Royal Bank of Scotland and NatWest? Well, the banking group says that despite working flat out on the computer software problems which started on Tuesday, it will be Monday next week at the earliest before everything is sorted. Well, with me is Keith Griggs. He's founder of reputationmanagementexperts.co.uk. Now, Monday at the earliest, that could mean anything. It means exactly. A weekend of misery for people. What is this doing to the image of particularly NatWest, which brands itself as Britain's most helpful bank?
Well, it's doing massive damage. And the more it's in the media, the more horror stories we hear, the more damage it's going to do.
Because, of course, I mean, banks are not terribly highly thought of at the moment anyway, are they? So they've already got an uphill struggle. How have they, in particular, handled this? I mean, they have come on and apologised. They have said that they'll put people right. Do you think they're doing the best they can given the circumstances?
And they've also opened a lot of branches late tonight and tomorrow. So, and there's also stories of them being a bit flexible in some of their when people are in sort of terrible situations, but they can always do more. They could be maybe a bit more flexible with when people have problems, or they could do across the board free overdraft of a couple of £100 or something like that.
Okay, which we haven't yet seen them offer that. What's the long-term effect on consumers? Because with banking, customer loyalty tends to be pretty sticky, doesn't it? People are unlikely to change their bank. How damaging is it long-term?
It depends a lot how well they contain this. If they fix things very quickly and they stop too much media attention to it in the short term, then it could all die down. As you say, it takes a lot for someone to shut down their account and open a new one somewhere else, but it might put off people opening new accounts with them in the future.
Do you think this is made any more salient by the fact that this is a largely state and therefore taxpayer-owned bank?
I think it maybe makes a difference. I haven't seen too much comment about that particular point at the moment, so I think, maybe banks have got such a bad name, I don't think anyone really cares who owns it.
Now, you advise people on what to do in situations,
that's right.
Companies like this. What would you be advising them to do now?
Try and stop it turning into a big media story. Try and fix people's problems as soon as they can.
Okay, and get the likes of us to stop talking about it. Okay, Keith, thank you very much indeed. Well, staying with banks, and shares in the major UK high street names have bounced back after the falls that followed last night's downgrade by credit rating agency Moody's of 15 banks here in Europe and the US. Well, let's take a look at how the 5 major bank shares on the FTSE 100 are looking. It's only Standard Chartered that's down, and only very slightly. And I should point out the FTSE's not having a good day, so it's largely bank stocks that are holding it up to where it is. Well, let's have a look at the FTSE 100. As I said, it has been down all day. It remains pretty much where it's spent most of the morning, down there 37 points. It's being dragged down by mining and energy stocks as concerns over global economic slowdown grow. Well, one interesting share movement this afternoon is Marks & Spencer. It's been down around 3%. It's more than that now, 3.1%. It's been announced today that their head of menswear, Richard Price, has quit the company to become managing director of its rival British Home Stores. The company hasn't had a great run in recent times. It's seen the defection of 3 other senior managements and a drop in profits only announced last month. Well, let's have a look as well at the main European markets. We can see the Spanish and the Italian index have parted company from their French and German counterparts there. There's some sense of relief at that independent audit of Spanish banks coming in below that 100 billion euros that's been set aside. And the Italian market has also come good in the last hour or two as their bond yields have eased off a little bit. Well, in the United States, the Dow Jones has recently opened for business. Let's take a look. Up 0.5%. That's not a surprise, really, because it had a pretty dismal day yesterday, closing down almost 2%. Now, as the leaders of the Eurozone's 4 biggest economies meet in Rome to